My name is Jenna Citrus and I'm a creator. Today I'm going to talk to you about the differences between Kickstarter and Patreon. First I'm going to talk about Kickstarter. I've done 3 projects on Kickstarter, and not the first 2, but 2 of them I did were successfully funded and 1 was not funded. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Kickstarter's funding model and what it took to do the projects, and a little bit about marketing because it got really scary the last time I did one of these. Okay, so the very first project I did was the house installation. I'm trying to find the date on this real quick. Okay, July 2014 was the delivery date. We had this project. It was a group of my classmates and I, and we didn't have guaranteed funding for our class project, which was taking an abandoned house and turning it into an art installation. It was amazing, by the way. I started a Kickstarter for us. I think our goal was, I'm going to say $350, $400, somewhere in there, because we raised $409 to fund this project. And the Kickstarter is an all or nothing funding spectrum, so if you don't meet your funding goal, you get $0, which really sucks, which is very different from Patreon, which we'll get to here in just a second. So we did get funded, but it was funny because I kept promoting it, and we finally got funded, and then I promoted and shared that, and then no more donations came in after that. I was like, okay, you made it, we'll leave you alone. So that was kind of, I guess, a little bit like yay for making it, but like it was very difficult, and I don't know, it was kind of a mixed bag funding opportunity. So like I'm glad we got our money and our house happened, and we actually got another grant too, so like double kudos and yay for all that. So we made our house project work and it was amazing, even though it was on quite a budget, but hey. And the second project I did was the hand painting series, and I did this one in 2016? Yes. And I wanted to go to New York and have a book signing. So with the help of the backers, I created this book and got it self-published and went to New York and had a book signing, and yay, awesomeness. I did sell a painting through there, so like every time I sell a painting I get like way too excited. I'm like, oh my god, yes! Sorry, I'll calm down a little bit. So yay for funding through there. But something super weird happened this time around. I launched my project and I got like probably 100 emails over the course of my Kickstarter that were from different companies trying to market to me. It was really, I guess, kind of infuriating because I was doing my best to spread the word and promote and all of that stuff. But I kept getting all these emails. They're like, we want to promote your thing. And I'm like, okay, great, go for it. And they're like, it costs $400. I'm like, no, not great. No. So if I had started over at the beginning knowing that I was going to have a marketing partner, because, I mean, you'd have to build that into the budget. I had a very low ball figure of trying to like, okay, I can do this for this much money. I think it was $700 was my goal, and I made it. But I was not trying to make a ton of money to pay a marketer, so I did not have that in my budget. So I guess I could see how maybe you could do that going forward on a project, but I've actually abandoned Kickstarter. I did have one project that was a coloring book where I was accepting submissions for it, and it did not get funded, and I think only one person pledged, and I don't know, nobody got excited about the coloring book. They're like, Jenna, I want to see you do other stuff. I'm like, okay, I'll do it. Although this is a good way to propose projects and get a read from your fans on how interested they are before you go through with a project. But I'm gonna head over, well, here, I'll just go to Patreon, pull that up and see, do a little bit of sharing. Patreon, Jenna Citrus, boom! It has a theme song. Well, welcome to Patreon. I actually have two Patreon pages. This one actually has this book of me right now. That's not like way too meta or something. Book. Okay, sorry. So I funded, okay. This gets a little confusing. The best thing about Patreon is it is a monthly pledge to a creator. So every month a person signs up and it charges their credit card, and they keep subscribing and keep seeing all the content you create on a certain level. And like Kickstarter, there are reward tiers, so you can set it up and say, hey, I'm gonna give you a book, I'm gonna give you a painting, and you have different tiers. Or with Patreon, I've gotten very into digital rewards, so that's something I didn't use on Kickstarter because I didn't think people were interested in them, but I've experimented around on Patreon quite a bit and gotten a lot of interest from people wanting to have digital content from me. So I've been doing that. Let's see here. Oh, I was about to do another Kickstarter for, I have this Paint in the Body series that I created. So, well, I actually was not done when I was getting ready to do a Kickstarter, and I started setting it up, and I'm like, you know what? I think I'm just going to run this through Patreon. And Patreon now has a tool, it's a special offer, so you can run a short time thing. If you really need to like ramp up or amp up funding to get a big project off the ground, you can do that. So I don't know, I'm very pro Patreon right now because it's a reoccurring monthly thing, so you can try it. I would put this in quotes, you can rely on your income. I would not 100% get behind that because people can unpledge, and that is one I guess good and bad thing about Patreon is you can sign up, say I sign up on February 14th, Valentine's Day, to someone. There are two different ways to sign up. People either put their account on pay up front or pay at the end of the month, which is actually the beginning of the next month. So I have mine on pay up front. So if someone pledges on the 14th, their card is charged immediately, and they're set to have another charge on March 1st. But they can unpledge anytime during that, but they still get to see the rest of the content for the month. So that's kind of, that's nice if you know you don't want to support someone or you don't have the funds to support someone for a long time. You can do a quick pledge and then unpledge, but you still give them support for the month, so that's good. I had mine set up because they wouldn't let everyone have that at the beginning, but I think they're letting everyone do it now. I cannot swear by that, but for the longest time they would not let everyone do it. And so I did not have pay up front turned on, and people would get in, see all my content, and then go away. And I was like, ah, so that was really frustrating. So I'm glad that they changed that. There are a lot of like changes and things that's been going on with Patreon. And Patreon had a convention. That was like, oh my god, I gotta go to the Patreon con. So that made me very excited. I went to Los Angeles and got to see what was going on with Patreon, which was amazing. And it was kind of like I got to meet the face of Patreon, which it was just a lot of people that work there, not like, I am Patreon. Although the person that created it was there, so I saw him too. So yay for that. Let's see. And I got that funded through Patreon. You don't, and I would call it a lot more loosey-goosey than Kickstarter, because with all of these projects that I have funded for myself from the help of my supporters, I did not start it out with like, hey, I am doing this project like I would do on Kickstarter. Can you help me pay for this? I would attract people's attention with what I was already doing, and they would sign up to see content, and then they would join based on like, I guess, past works, or I would show them like, hey, this is getting ready to post on Patreon, be sure to see it and check it out. So they'd join, and then I would decide what project I was doing with the money that I had from that. So yeah, pros, cons. I'm definitely pro Patreon. There's also Indiegogo, which is like Kickstarter because it's project based, except you get all of your funds no matter what, and so is GoFundMe. I feel like I needed to fact check both of those, and I think GoFundMe is more based towards crisis situations. That's at least what I've seen. One of my friends had a fire and it destroyed their home and sadly their cat, and someone launched a page for them and collected money so they could rebuild and get new stuff. So it's more of a, I would call that one a gift giving situation instead of a, hey, I want to buy this thing from you. So that is, I'm still, for what I'm doing right now, Patreon is the place I am at and need to be and need to stay, and I'm quite a fan of it. So I hope this was, no, don't go to sleep, no, we're still talking. I hope this was an informational video. You've learned a lot of information, yay. And now know the differences, and that's it, the end. I don't know. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out my Patreon. I know. I do have 2 of them. One is safe for work, so it's things like just wet paint on canvases, different artworks I'm up to, journals, and then one is not safe for work, which has, you know, not safe for work content on it. We're not gonna, whoa. So you have to go over there to see what that's all about. I don't know. Thanks so much for joining. I hope you're having a great day. Thanks. Bye-bye.